Hi, my name's TJ Hutchinson. I'm from Sarasota, Florida, and today I'm here to demonstrate for you the Thicken It double-sided tape system. So before we get started, I just want to talk to you a little bit how we prep the hair before we get started with the taping system. As you can see, I've got her sectioned out from ear to ear, and then I've made sure to section her hair, excuse me, Brooke, slightly down. So we want to start about maybe two inches off of the hairline up. And we also want to make sure that we're working about 2 fingers off of the hairline when we start. So I've sectioned her out to start my application so that when we lift this hair up, it's completely covered. She's got full mobility of the hair. As I've prepped Brooke's hair today, we're using 2 types of hair from the double-sided tape system. We've got 6A22, which is an ash, and then we have 27-613. The double-sided tape extensions, they come about 3 inches long. So what I tend to do is I like to cut them in half because I'm going to be blending the 2 colors. So I've cut them in half so that I'm going to actually sandwich 2 different colors on to create the color that we're going to be applying to Brooke's hair today. Okay, so if you're all ready, let's begin. We're going to start with the first piece. We're going to use the 27-613 underneath, about a quarter inch section of hair. So when we apply the first piece, it's very simple. We keep it about 1/8 of an inch off of the scalp, and that's also so we have full mobility. And then also you want to make sure that you have the right positioning before you press down and actually apply the extension to her hair. All right? So we've got a perfect spot for this extension. So as you can see, it's very, very easy to apply. It's very quick. We should be able to do the whole head in about 30 minutes. So as we're going through, there's the first one. We want to take the tape backing off. And because I'm going to be sandwiching 2 different colors to her today, what I also would like to do is take some hair and bring that through to each corner to help give it a little bit more stability. And then 1 small piece through the front here. And we're going to grab our 6A22. And we sandwich that direct on top. All right. Then we're going to do the same thing right beside it. We remove the tape. Make sure the tape is clear of any hair. And make sure we leave about 1/4 inch of hair away. All right, we have it where we like it. And then we just press it in. You want to make sure that you have enough hair underneath so that the tape is covered and you don't feel any tackiness as you're pressing the hair down. All right, then we're going to do a 6A22 and repeat. Chin down slightly. There we go. And then we put a small strand of hair through the middle, and that just really helps to secure the two extensions together so that we don't have any slippage. It's fairly common to layer two different colors of hair to actually create and add dimension to the hair. With Thicken It Hair Studios, we have 15 different shades of hair, starting from one as platinum to all the way, one from being dark black to platinum, but then we have also some mixed shades in between, and also some vibrant reds. So it is very common to use two different shades of hair to create dimension in the hair, which is what we're doing today for Brooke. So as you can see, we haven't secured the top of the tapes yet, so I took a section down, and this is what we're going to use to secure the top of the tapes. And this creates a seamless, almost invisible connection here. As you can see, as the hair's pulled up, you can't even see, where the tapes begin or where the tapes end. So those are the first two, starting at the nape. Now we're going to move up in a bricklayer pattern and going up each side. We recommend doing a bricklayer pattern so that you have a slight overlap from the hair as it falls. After each one you put in, there's a slight overlap to the previous one so that you have a nice seamless connection to the hair as it goes around the head, so that you don't leave any gapes, in the hair at all when it's being applied. So. Okay. Here, as we can see, here's the edge of this one here, so then we want to go up and over. Let's get a little bit more here. And then we also want to, be sure that we're staying 2 fingers away from the edge of the hairline there. 1/8 of an inch off the scalp, and then we press that into place. Just like so. There we go. The most common mistake that somebody might make when they're applying these is not to use enough hair when they're securing it to the actual tape, because you want to make sure that there's no tackiness, you can't feel any tackiness on top of the tape once you've applied it. So you want to make sure that you get plenty of hair onto top of the tape so that you get a secure bond. So if you don't get enough hair on, then I'm going to use this as an example. You can still see the side of the tape underneath. So if you find that happens, then you want to make sure to go back through and drop down a little bit more hair. So that when you're covering the tape, that you make sure to really press that hair into the tape so you get a total adhesion there. And then what doesn't adhere, you can see that it allows to come up. The hair that's not needed will come up. And there you can see that we've got a total adhesion of that extension. Once that hair is secured and in place, she can treat it just like her own hair. That becomes part of her hair. Okay, we're going to go to our next section. This process takes from beginning to end about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how much hair you're applying. And then there's always at the end, there's sometimes a haircut involved. So if there's a haircut involved in the end and you're doing some styling on the extensions, you have the whole thing done in about an hour. You could have them applied, cut, styled in an hour's time. This hair is Remy hair. It's some of the finest virgin quality hair that money can buy. And so as she's wearing this hair, like I said before, this becomes her own hair. So this hair isn't going to get matted up when she sleeps at night. She's not going to wake up and have rat's nests in her hair. So the Thicken It brand is one of the top of the line hair taping systems that you can get. So it's very highly recommend if you're going to start with this to go with something, a high quality product so that you have the best results possible. So as you can see on this particular weft, I didn't pull down enough hair just to kind of give you an idea what it needs to look like. So you just want to go ahead and just go up and grab a little bit more hair above that weft so that you can correctly cover the entire tape. Perfect. There we go. So you can kind of see the bricklayer pattern that we're accomplishing here. See how that's beginning to fall. Now, this is important to make sure that you get your little pieces here in between the sandwich, and that really helps to keep it intact and in place for the duration that the hair is in. There we go. As you can see, I'm trying to just use the hair that's just above and try and keep the hair from the sides away. So we just want to try and work from the hair that's directly above the tape in. And you can see I'm pulling them apart, pulling on the tape in just to really secure the hair inside. Perfect. So now, as you can see, as we bring that up, creates a seamless. We can't see any of those tapes. Okay, so for the middle section here, I'm going to go ahead and use a full weft across just below the occipital here is where we're going to create this piece, and that's going to fill in the middle after we've done our brick layering up the sides. And now we're going to go ahead and fill in the middle part here. So you can just gently position it to make sure that you have the corners exactly where you want them. And then when you feel like you've got the extension in the exact position that you want, then that's when you can go in and apply pressure to adhere the extension to her hair. If you feel like that you haven't got it in the right position, you haven't yet pressed down so hard, so you'll be able to actually lift the extension away from the hair and reposition and move it around. So it's up to you as the individual stylist to figure out how high up you'd like to go with her hair. If you're adding more length, you could probably, finish from there. If you want more thickness, then you can go further up the head, up to the occipital. You don't really want to go over the occipital unless it's to, fill in a little bit on the sides, which we're going to do for Brooke here. Okay, so now we're getting ready to work on the sides. We want to make sure that we're not applying the extension past 2 fingers from the hairline. So you always want to you can use your fingers as a guide, to make sure that you're not going to overextend the extension so that, we don't want to see the extension when we pull the hair back. Okay, so what I've done is I went ahead and sectioned her down in front of her ear. So whatever we're going to put on the sides here, we want to make sure to apply behind this line. So we're going to go up a bit here. There we go. We have our 3 strands. There we go. Perfect. All right, so we are. That's how it looks as we filled in the sides here. So we can see that beautiful, seamless, her hair. It became part of her hair as it's applied. You know, the thing with doubling these tapes like I'm doing here, I mean, this could actually be done just by using one tape, but because I'm doubling them up, you know, I'm adding, being able to add some dimension to her hair, but I'm also adding more fullness to it when we double these tapes up like this. So it's really good if somebody has really fine hair and you just really want to add a lot of thickness to their hair, hence the name Thicken It. When you double these tapes up like I'm doing here, it really helps to give you that added volume and that added thickness that a lot of people that have really fine, thin hair are looking for. And there we go with that side there.
Wow.
All right. So, this is our double-sided tape extensions application. Okay, what do you think, Brooke?
I love it.
Isn't this beautiful?
Perfect.
Oh my goodness.
I'm obsessed. It looks
Oh,
like my hair.
look
It's so light.
It feels
Can I touch
soft and silky and beautiful.
Super soft.
It looks so much fun.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's exciting.
I don't even feel like there's anything in my head.
Oh, that's awesome. You like the length?
Yes, the length is awesome.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Where's
So.
my hair?
So to give you guys a little recap today, as we started this process, we started in the back at the nape. I'm using two different colors of extensions to create dimension in the hair. I also cut the extensions in half so that I could really do a nice brick layer as we went up and around the sides. So make sure that you work on your brick layer patterns going up for those of you that aren't hairstylists that are just trying this out for the first time. And then also, we filled in the back by using a full 3-inch weft across the occipital, and then we went ahead and finished it off with the wefts on the front sides, making sure that we stay 2 fingers off of the hairline, which you can see why when I pull Brooke's hair back, you don't see any tapes, any of the wefts. You do not see them. So if you follow those simple instructions, this is easy, it's fun to do. You'll have a good time doing it, and your clients will love you to death. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so just to give you guys a little hint or a little tip in the end, you know, how I always like to cut these. As you can see, we finished Brooke's hair. It's a little uneven. The only way I cut these extensions is with a razor. I have a feather razor here. You want to make sure to have a brand new blade, on it. You want it extra sharp. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go in and just kind of feather out the ends, just to kind of even it up, depending on if, you know, what type of shape she likes, if she likes an oval shape or if she likes it straight across. You discuss that with her in advance. As you can see, I just hold it with my fingers and just go right through. You can also put layers into these. If you wanted to add layers, you can go into it. Just very gently, you know, you can go piece by piece to really create some layering in these extensions. And I'm just giving you a quick overview of how this is done. And that way we can just even up the ends. As you can see, I'm just using the back of my finger, being very careful. There we go. As you can see, just by using a little razor on the ends, we can get it so it looks really natural. What you don't want to do is just cut them with a straight shear and cut them straight off, because then it just leaves them very, you know, flat. And this way that the ends have a little bit more texture and a little bit more movement through them.